up, bell it up. She pulled up in a bench, she nail it up, She peek out with the colors, middle finger stick it up.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm coming to you with a story time about when I found out I was pregnant. So, when I found out I was pregnant, I can't say I already kind of knew I was pregnant, but I was like in denial in the beginning. But it's like I knew, but I didn't know. Like, if you know what I mean by that. So, when I found out I was pregnant, I can't honestly remember what month it was, like, exactly. But when I found out, like, I knew I was kind of missing my period. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm going to wait till this month is out and see if my period comes. If my period doesn't come, then I know I'm pregnant. So we waited and waited. So he already had a feeling I was. But I was like, no, I'm still wait. So he was like, nah, I believe you is or whatever. So I was like, no, I don't think so. So I waited till the end of that month. Period didn't come. I'm missing my period that month. So I'm like, fuck, I might be pregnant now. So we go and get a test. A little cheap little test, little $2 test. And it was one of those ones with the little dropper thing on it. So we bought one of those. And I was so scared to take this test, y'all. Like, I was so scared. So when we got back home, you know, got back from getting the test or whatever, I peed. It's like a little, since it's a dropper, you pee in a cup and then you just suck the pee out with the dropper. So yeah, I peed in the cup, but I had came in the room and I told him, I was like, I'm scared, blase. He was like, okay, well, I'll do it for you. So, okay, I gave him the cup. He got the pee in the dropper or whatever. And he puts the pee on the test, and I'm just standing in front of him, seeing what he finna tell me. So he look at me, he look at me like, and say, you're not pregnant. And I'm like, you lying. It was just the facial expression he had, like, you are, but he was like, no, you're not. So I was like, So he just threw the test at me, like, threw it at me. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like, this can't be true. This can't be true. I mean, I know I was doing the things to have a baby, but like, I just did not think I was pregnant, y'all. I just did not think I was pregnant. I mean, you gotta think, it was my senior year. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Okay, so once I found out I was pregnant, whatever, I didn't want to tell nobody. Like, nobody. Like, I didn't want to tell anyone. So I let it go by. But I was getting nauseous, like real nauseous, real bad. Like the first month, like when I didn't know, like the first 2 months, like when I didn't know, I wasn't sick. But like once I found out, and I think I was creeping into like my 3rd month or 4th month, something like that. I'm probably creeping into my 3rd month, I believe. And I was getting really sick, like really sick. And y'all, when I tell you I didn't want no one to know, I didn't want anybody to know. Like, when I was vomiting, I would go outside and vomit. And I'm talking about, it's late night. I was so nervous for my mom to find out. So I did not want her to know. So when like I said, I was in school. I didn't tell anybody in school. But I mean, I wasn't showing yet. I just still looked normal. So it didn't really bother me in school. But I was nauseous in school. I used to have to get up and leave. And I know, I don't really leave my class like that. Because, I just don't. So it was just like, oh my God. It's going to hit the ceiling sooner or later. So I was just getting so sick. So me and my boyfriend, he would like sit with me at the hospitals and stuff. And I didn't go to an OB yet. Like, I know this was bad. Don't get me wrong. I know this was bad. I know when I found out I should have went to the doctor and handled it like a woman. But, I was nervous. I was scared. Like, I couldn't believe that I was finna have a baby. So when we used to sit at the hospital or whatever, and the hospital, they even told me, you need to go to the OB, you need to go to the OB, you need to go to the OB. But I did not want anybody to know. So I still didn't go. And then once, I think I went to our hospital twice. And they told me that the same thing. They was like, oh, like my last time going, it was like, we're not going to see you anymore until, you go to an OB or whatever. So I went to another town, like, yeah, I went to another town and I went to their hospital. I know, like, y'all don't have to tell me. I know this was bad. I know I should have handled it the right way, but oh well. And I went there for my nausea or whatever, because it was just bad, y'all. I couldn't hold anything down, like even water. Like, it was just, I don't know. I don't know. So they just told me the same thing, you're pregnant, blah, blah, blah. It's normal. So okay. Then I could say Christmas 2016. Yeah, 2016's Christmas. It was just the last straw. Like, I was just over it. I was like done. So I went back. I got sicker that night. I got way sicker that night. And I went back to the hospital in my town. And they finally let me see the baby. Now, mind y'all, this is my first time seeing the baby. It changed everything. Like, it changed everything. They let me see the baby, but, I couldn't take any pictures or nothing like that. I think when I went there, I was 11 weeks. I was 11 weeks when I first seen him. And when I seen him, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you could see his little feet, his arms, his head, his finger, like, you can see all of that little stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, it really changed everything. So I was like, it changes when you finally see them. Like, when you just know you're pregnant and you don't go to the doctor and whatever, you just nervous. But when I seen him, I was like, oh no, I gotta go to the doctor. I gotta make sure he's okay. I gotta make sure everything. So once that happened, I still waited. I still didn't tell nobody. When I was 13 weeks, that's when it hit the fan. I told my mom or whatever. It was like she kind of already knew. She was like, because see, one of my cousins went and told her. It was like, oh, I heard you been throwing up like that. So she came and told me. She was like, I heard you been throwing up or whatever. So I was like, so I was like, So I still didn't tell her. Like, she asked me, she was like, you pregnant? I was like, no. Like that. And she was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So she went back in her room and I sat in my room. I was like, I got to tell my mama. Like, this is my mom. Every girl knows, I mean, if you had that relationship or whatever with your parent, like your mom, but every girl needs their mom. You're finna become a mom. You want your mom. You want your mom to be there. So I had went in there. I just plopped in her bed and I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. She was like, I already knew. I was like, how you knew? She was like, girl, I already know. So then after that, we had to get all our stuff situated with insurance and blah, 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 yada, yada. Then I finally went to the doctor. And that's when I got my first checkup and, I got my first sonograms and all that stuff. And I don't know, it just became real. Like, it just became so real, you guys. Like, I was like, I don't know, it just changed everything. Like, I was happy. I was like so happy. Like, from going from nervous to happy, like, I was so happy. And, his dad was happy too. I think he wanted to have this baby with me, like, cause he wasn't nervous, he wasn't anything, like, he wasn't nothing, like, it's like he even when we took the test, he was like, yeah, you pregnant, da da da. Like, I was the only one nervous out of this whole situation. Like, I'm like, dang, so yeah. And I mean, my boyfriend, he was supportive the whole pregnancy. When I tell y'all, from the time I'm leaning over the toilet, throwing up, cravings, crying, all of that, like, he was there. Like, he's such a blessing. Like, for real. Nothing he ever did for me ever went unnoticed. Like, everything. I love him, y'all. Like, it's crazy. But yeah. he was very, 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 very supportive. And I can't remember how many weeks I was when I found out, like 20, 21, something like that. But when we went to find out or whatever, what we were having, we went in there, whatever. I told her I didn't want to know. I honestly, I originally wanted a gender reveal, like, you know, but I was too anxious. Once we went in there, he was already saying, oh, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy. But I didn't want him to tell me it was a boy. So when I told the lady to write what it was on the sonogram, put it in an envelope, because I was going to initially do, like I said, do the gender reveal. But I didn't. So when we got in the car, I was so anxious to find out what I was having. So I was like, I'm scared to open it. So I told him to open it. So he opened it. And he showed it to me, and it said, it's a boy. I was like, oh my gosh. I was so happy. I was so happy. And I don't know. I mean, I was very, very happy that it was a boy. Like, I got my own little man to love on. Like, I don't know. And he means everything to me. But yeah. I was very happy finding out it was a boy. I mean, at first, like initially when when it first said a boy, I had mixed feelings. I was like, oh, I want a girl. I wanted a girl. But then when it sunk in that I was having a boy, I got really happy. Like, I was very happy. So, yeah, that was that. But, and mind y'all, I still haven't told my father. So I was like, my dad is a real strict man, like really, really strict. So it's like, I don't know. And you know what? I wasn't going to tell him. I didn't tell him. So my mom ended up telling him. And one day we were on the phone and we just got into it or whatever. And he just blurted out and was like, and I know you're pregnant. No, did he say, I know you're pregnant? No, he said, I heard you was pregnant. And I'm like, heard? And then he was like, yeah, da 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 da. But he was like taking the conversation somewhere else. So I kept saying, who you heard that from? Who you heard that from? Who you heard that from? Like that. Because he was saying like he heard it in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have easily said like, your mom told me. He said he heard about it. And I know don't nobody know. So once I like tried to back the conversation up back the way we was at, he was like, yeah, I know you pregnant or whatever. I was like, who told you that? And then he was like, I heard. I was like, you ain't hearing that. And I said, my mama told you that. And he was like, yeah, so is it true? Like, that's just his way of trying to get some tea. Ain't no tea, darling. But, yes, it's true. And he was, you know, he was upset or whatever. Really upset. But he didn't show it on the phone. I don't know. We just ended the conversation and he hung up. But I know he was upset, y'all. Like, I just know my dad. I know he was upset. So, I don't know. That situation right there was crazy. But yeah, I knew he was upset. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's life. I mean, you got to get over it. So, I mean, he's here. He's in the oven. He's baking. I mean, what you gonna do? So, yeah. That was that. But, yeah. But, yeah. Overall, like, you know, me finding out I was pregnant and stuff, like I said, I already kind of knew, but I just didn't want to believe it. And then once I finally seen him, everything just made me change. Like, I just fell in love with him. Like, I'm in love with my son. Like, I love him so much. Like, so much. Words can't even explain how I feel about him. He changed everything. Like, he changed me. Like, y'all don't understand how nervous I was. Like, how nervous I was of, like, becoming a mom. Like, I don't know. And then, you know what? Even with my pregnancy, like, my whole pregnancy, I ain't gonna say I was ashamed, but I didn't glorify my pregnancy. Like, you know, like how you, you know, you're so excited, you know. I was happy on the inside. I was excited on the inside, but I didn't let it show on the outside. I just, on the outside to everybody else, oh, I'm just pregnant. That's all it was. It wasn't like, oh my God. You know, it was just like, I'm pregnant, I'm dealing with it, and this is that. But, you know, like, if in the future, way in the future, ooh, way in the future, whenever I choose to have another child, I want to recognize that pregnancy more. Like, you know, like bond, you know, like, I don't know, show off that pregnancy more. Like this one, like I barely got pictures. I barely got anything, like anything. So, I mean, I got a few, and you know, but like, you know how you take all these pictures, I don't have none of that. So it's like my next one, way down the line, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that. Okay, you guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up this video. Say hey. Say hi. Look. Look. Say hey. Say hi, you guys. Say hey, WT. Okay, you guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.